back in September last year, I had an idea of using an Arduino as a EEPROM type of thing to convert the codes from an LC7137 rig down to an LC7132, so it could be used on midband. And after a little bit of tinkering with the programming, this is what I ended up with on a piece of breadboard, showing inputs and outputs. At which time I thought, okay, that's good. So I consulted the Midnight Express and ended up with this. Now this was my first attempt at this board, and it was it showed proof of concept, but it wasn't really the best of designs. It didn't fit inside the radio correctly. I made it too wide, but it did prove that it worked. So we had pull down resistors, and we had an onboard voltage regulator to power it, which I found out later we didn't actually need, because the actual radio supplied ample power to power the Arduino, which was drawing a very small amount of current. So this is it with its components in place as my test jig, and that's the wire I used to take power from the radio and power the Arduino. And as you can see, there's no voltage regulator on the board, but as a proof of concept it worked, and I was quite happy. That it worked. So I sat down and I designed this, which was basically the same circuitry but redesigned board. And as from reading other modifications, we needed to add a capacitor in one of the lines just to prevent UKFM not working. Those are the pull down resistors, and I did a little bit of decoupling across the power rails. I'm not sure whether it needed, but it's there anyway. And this actually worked quite nicely, and I was very happy with it. But I had to carry on. Because that's what I do. So this board. So I actually took the old midband board from the 80s, reverse engineered the circuit diagram and put it onto a board, and this was it. And on paper it should have worked, but in reality it was a failure. It absolutely failed miserably. So this board never got documented. Yes, this didn't work very well. It worked on UKFM, but there was something wrong with the codes on midband, or it was thinking that it was miscoding something, or. But anyway, this is the next iteration. So a couple of through holes, a couple of through hole transistors because we could. This one had the lock indicator that I actually prototyped on a piece of breadboard. It had the resistors just in case the switches were earthed, and this worked again beautifully. Very happy with it. The lock indicator worked nicely. It had the transistor to damp if you fitted it into Amstrads. But I had to carry on. And there was a slight thing in the Midnight Express. It said connect one pin on one of the PLLs to another pin on the other PLL, which was for the channel 9, but it actually didn't work. So I actually redesigned that. It was just basically move a trace over. But on this one I put surface mount diodes and fixed that small problem, and again this board worked beautifully. And then a certain person who we will name nameless, but it's called Andy, said, oh, PIC chips. So I thought, okay, let's play with PIC chips. So here was my prototype board for a PIC unit using a PIC microprocessor. And after breadboarding it for a while, I decided I had to build a standalone test to test the codes, because on the breadboard it was far too twitchy, and I used one of my other boards to try it in the radio, and it worked perfectly, and this was the outcome. And again, this board works beautifully. It has all the same functionality of the other board. It has a lock indicator, it has the transistor to dampen on the Amstrads. This one does have a voltage regulator, because I've noticed the PIC, it does say in the data sheet that the PICs run 5.5 volt maximum, and I think the rigs can produce 6 or 7 volts, and I just didn't want to push it. So an AM1117 voltage regulator, the 5 volt, easy enough. All the components were placed by JLC PCB with their SMD construction service. And again, this worked beautifully. Very happy with it, and I didn't need to update that in any way. So there we have it. That's the history of my modification boards and the steps and the mods that I've gone through to actually make these boards. Why did I make them? Yeah, because it was, you know, it was something to do, and I enjoy doing stuff like this. I don't know, you could have just piggybacked it, but hey ho, I don't do just piggybacks. I like to do something that's different and unique, and I think I've made something that is maybe not unique in circuitry, but definitely unique in design. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.